A warm welcome, everyone. We have all heard that when the diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. And when the diet is correct, we don't need medicines. So, today's session, we are going to demystify how our diet influences menopause.
Hello, आवाज आ रही है आपको?
We are going to also understand the food mood connection, and we are going to try and demystify how we can heal through food. Our facilitator today, Tanya, is a known She Mantran. On She is Fit, she has facilitated some beautiful breathing sessions early this month. She is a certified yoga practitioner and a nutritionist where she has helped diverse groups like corporates and women communities where the focus has been on stress, posture, and hormonal health. Thank you so much, Tanya, for doing this for us, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Sheetal. It's such a pleasure being here. And I will just share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. Okay, yes. It's visible, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. All right, so this is a very interesting topic and very close to my heart. I'll tell you a little bit about myself first. I am basically a nutritionist, and then 5 years back, I did my yoga course, and since then, my yoga journey started because I really wanted to go into the depth of the Indian roots, yoga and Ayurveda. So then I started exploring Ayurveda as well. And I got to know that whatever is taught to us in our college is mostly Western nutrition, right? There are combinations like if you've heard about fruit and milk, right? They teach us that that's really a good combination in the Western medicine. But then when we explore yoga, when we explore Ayurveda, we get to hear that fruit and milk is not a great combination, but okay, certain fruits can go well with milk. So that was very interesting. And then I started to implement this in my regular practice, in my consultations with people. And I actually saw benefits where Western nutrition would not have such a positive impact. But when you actually incorporate these changes, the Ayurveda perspective into nutrition, even the diseases that they are autoimmune, they're so difficult to get out of, it really impacts those people in a very positive way. So today I'll be talking about Sattvic living. I'm sure you all have attended a lot of sessions before where someone else also took the session on what is Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. But I'll still give you a basic idea for those who never attended those sessions. Okay, so before I start, I just have one question for you all. You can put it on the chat box or you can even unmute yourself. I want it to be as interactive as possible. Okay, so what is your favorite comfort food? I'm sure we all have a favorite food that we always resort to.
Mine is khichdi.
Khichdi, wow. Okay. That's a healthy comfort food. Okay. Khichdi, dal chawal.
Okay, let me be the bad one. Vada pav.
Wow.
Nothing is bad.
Yeah.
Mine's definitely a bag of chips. Or
No, Tanya said
gunpowder. If I'm stressed, it's chocolates.
Okay.
Sorry,
Put it in chat.
and gunpowder.
Put it in chat.
Gunpowder. Okay, curry chawal. I can see a lot of rice-based items. So curry chawal, curd rice, dal rice, khichdi. Wow. Okay, toast and butter, chips and ice cream. Chalo, someone is being honest. Okay, chips and ice cream. Yes, because of the yeah. Okay, after long travels, rasam and rice along with sabzi, otherwise golgappas. I'm sure golgappas are everyone's favorite. Rasam and rice with papad, golgappa, pani puri. Yes, so these are comfort foods. But do they always, the question from me to you is, when you have these comfort foods, how do you feel immediately after eating them? And how do you feel after maybe an hour or so? You can think about it. We have a lot of time.
I think immediately you feel very fulfilled, and since mine is khichdi, I feel good later also.
Later also. Okay. See some. Okay, good and immediately, then a low. Yeah. Warm and loved immediately and afterwards. Feel good overall. Okay, so most of you had very healthy options when it comes to comfort food, but since everyone is not the same and many people resort to very high carb foods, very processed foods, chips, and of course, Akshay says chips, you feel very happy, but then you feel very sick, right? And then you also feel very low in energy after a while. So it's not always necessary that comfort food is going to give you comfort in the long run. So that's where the principles of Ayurveda come, right? So what is Sattvic living? We always hear this term Sattvic. There was a movement also recently which was very viral on social media, the Sattvic movement. But basically, Sattvic is a lifestyle which promotes not only healthy eating, but practicing yoga, practicing clarity of both body and mind, maintaining a balance. So it's not necessary the people who follow a Sattvic living don't eat out at all. It's all about balance. They might be having something which is not very healthy, but again, even if they're having it in a small portion, but they're managing their schedule in terms of exercise, meditation, you can say more or less they have a Sattvic form of living. Then coming to Sattva. So Sattva means purity, light, and harmony. Okay, so you can say something which is positive, which makes you feel good, gives you more positive energy. That is Sattva. Okay, Rajas means more activity, more passion, more movement. Okay, I'm just going to give it in short because I have a lot to tell. And Tamas. Tamas is basically inertia and darkness. So Tamas is the most negative of the three. Okay, so if you think about a green light, which is a go, that is Sattva. If you think about orange or yellow, it is Rajas. And then if you think about red, it is Tamas. So what is the Sattvic living routine? Firstly, waking up early, ideally before sunrise. But I know many of us eventually, we have office, we have late nights, parties, and getting up early in the morning becomes a task. So people who do wake up early in the morning, ideally before sunrise, that is kind of a Sattvic living feature. Then those who practice yoga and meditation, since a lot of us are from the She Fit community and She Mantra community, I see a lot of people doing fitness and practicing yoga, meditation, spending time in nature. It's so lovely to see all those photographs where you are out in the open, exploring, even if you're going for a walk in your locality, but you're spending time in nature outside your house, that's also a Sattvic living routine. Maintaining cleanliness of the body as well as the environment, and also living with a purpose, simplicity and discipline. So, if any of you have seen that series on Netflix, it's called Live Till 100. Yes. So it's a very interesting series. Captain Sunita, you have seen it.
The Blue Zone one?
The Blue Zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seen. Yeah.
So in that series, it is shown that so many people in certain areas of the world, they live till 100, and then they were interviewed of what was their lifestyle like that led to them being, so active till even after 100. So one very common thing came was that they all had some purpose in life. Okay, there was someone who went to the shop every day to sell vegetables. That was his purpose. Someone, for them, it was just socializing with their friends and maybe just spending time with their granddaughter. They all had some form of some purpose in life. So that really enhances, your entire personality. That what is it that you live for? So people who live simple lives, minimalist lifestyle. This is again very common these days. People want to let go of anything extra which they don't need and live a very simple and disciplined life. Okay, and people also have started detaching because maybe you have a circle where you have to stay awake for too long and that's not going well with your routine, and you require some form of discipline in your lifestyle. Okay, so these are basic parameters. Now, if you've ever heard about the circadian rhythm, yes? Yes. Okay. So we say that our body, there's a clock, a body clock, which works according to the universe. So as per the sunrise and the sunset, as per the Ayurveda principles, there are certain gunas during the times of the day. So Vat, Pitta, and Kapha are the three gunas according to Ayurveda. Okay, so Vat is something which is light, fast movement. The people who feel very cold all the time, their hands and feet are cold. When you travel a lot, the Vat increases because it has more to do with movement, right? Pitta is the heat element. So Vat is the air element and Pitta is the heat element. People who feel very hot, they get hot flushes. Even in menopause, what happens is you start getting hot flushes very often. During that phase, Pitta levels increase in the body. People who cannot digest too much spicy food, that is also a feature of having a Pitta body type. They have too much of acne, redness, oily skin. Then coming to Kapha. Kapha is, you can say, lethargy, mucus, slow lifestyle, where you feel that, oh my God, I'm really lazy right now. So that is Kapha. And in that, people gain weight very fast. They have a very low metabolism. So everyone is born with certain type of gunas, and it can also be a combination of these gunas. And throughout their lifestyle, supposing they're traveling too much, okay, some guna can increase and the other guna can reduce. So this is called a dosha imbalance. So according to the circadian rhythm of the body also, there are certain times during the day where Vat is high, where Pitta is high, and where Kapha is high. So night time between 2 and 6, it is the Vat time, right? So the metabolism is high, even though you are sleeping at that time, but the brain activity starts. Okay, you will often see that if you wake up very early in the morning, you will often remember your dream, but you will not remember your dream from the early part of the night. Why does that happen? Because after 2, there is one stage of sleep that is another very huge topic. So there are different stages of sleep. And during this 2 to 6, the brain activity increases. Okay. And here, what happens is that if you've had a light dinner and you've slept early, then you get a better sleep in the first part of the night. So you see the Pitta time here, right? Oh, sorry, midnight.
The screen is not moving actually.
The slide is not moving.
It's not moving.
The first slide only.
Oh, is it? Okay, 1 second. You're not able to see my
Just the first screen
You
presentation.
can see
Wala.
the first page. Huh?
Oh,
Do
okay.
you want someone else to move it? I don't know.
Okay, let me share again and you let me know because I could see.
Maybe you are Pitta and we are Vata, something.
Okay. I will share. Now? Now is it moving?
Yes.
It's moving now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So okay, so this is the image which you can see. Here is the midnight. Okay, so between 10 and 2 is the Pitta time where you get the maximum deep sleep. your body's detoxification process happens during this time, right? People who sleep very late at night, after 1 to 2 a.m., their healing process at night does not happen that well because you have missed that deep sleep cycle. Now, moving on, but I'm not able to see you all. 1 second, I don't know why that's happening. Okay. Okay, anyway, we will. It's not moving from. Sheetal, do you want to share from your end so that I can...
Sure. You have to send the file to me then.
Okay. Or 1 second, let me try again. I think the present. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is the Pitta time where it is the heat part of the day, 10 to 2. Then you move to dawn, okay, 2 to 6. At this time, you experience light sleep and your body starts becoming active again. So eventually, it is an ideal time for meditation, yoga. You need to do breathing exercises at this time of the day. And then from 6 to 10, again, the brain starts becoming more and more active. The cortisol levels start increasing. So you become more energetic. Now, kapha tries to make you lethargic. Okay, but if you do an exercise during this time of the day, you will be able to balance it out. So you require a very light breakfast and more water during this time of the day. Pitta, again, between 10 and 2 p.m. is the heat where the sun is also at its peak. The body's heat is also at its peak. The person experiences high digestion, high metabolism. So that's why we say that always have your lunch before 2 p.m. and that too a nice heavy lunch which keeps you full. Okay, then between 2 to 6, again, this is the Vata time. So the air element is on a higher side and you need to take light movement. You can walk after your meal. You can take a light nap, right? But again, if you have a very heavy meal and very carb rich meal, you will feel very sleepy during this phase of the day between 2 to 6. Right. And then between 6 to 10, again, it's sunset time where we say that ideally should not eat after sunset. But even if you are eating, it should be a very, very light meal, very low in carbs. And try to do relaxation activities where you are spending time with the family, taking self-care time basically between 6 to 10. And then 10 o'clock, you should ideally be sleeping. Okay, moving on. You can still see my screen getting shifted, right?
Yes, we will
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, Sattvic food principles. What are these? Firstly, you need to have foods which are fresh and seasonal and light to digest. Now, I know in various parts of the country now, every type of food is available 24 12 months of the year, 24 hours, you need to just Swiggy and Zomato and it comes to your place. But what you need to understand in terms of Sattvic living is that seasonal fruits and vegetables and foods play a very important role. Because when foods are consumed which are not seasonal, they are very hard to digest. For example, let's take millets, for instance. Okay, so bajra is a millet that is usually to be consumed in winter. Okay, because of its properties, it's very it produces heat in the body, right? But on the other hand, foods like jawar, they can be consumed in the summer as well, right? Or lighter grains can be consumed in the summer. So when you start consuming foods which are not seasonal, that causes a dosha imbalance. And even in menopause, the body's hormonal levels are fluctuating so much that it becomes very sensitive to this change. Okay, again, we all know that food which is cooked with love and eaten with gratitude gives you more nutrition than a food which is prepared when you're angry, or you don't feel like cooking but you're cooking, or you don't feel like eating but you're eating, or you're just ordering from outside. You don't know what kind of attitude or how is the cooking when you are ordering from outside. So these few things really help to build a sattvic lifestyle. So we know that food contains prana or life, and the prana is also transferred to you when you consume that food. So if it is a sattvic food, it is mostly fresh and seasonal, and our basic Indian foods with dal and rice and ghee and mild spices like khichdi and dal rice, all of this is considered as sattvic food. Okay, so here is a list of sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic foods. So, as I told you, sattvic is the food which is pure and light and sweet. So, a lot of people say, oh, ghee is bad for the body. Ghee is not to be consumed because it can increase your cholesterol levels. But according to Ayurveda, it has been noted that ghee in a small portion is very beneficial for the body, for the joints especially. And nuts and seeds, fresh fruits and vegetables, using some form of herbs and spices, not very spicy food. Okay, natural sweeteners like honey. All of these are sattvic foods. Then rajasic is foods which are spicy and stimulating. Now, you will often see that if you are stressed, you will tend to choose rajasic foods, which will give you an immediate gratification. Okay, but eventually it is not beneficial for the body. So, example is, okay, onion garlic is one. Usually, when people say onion and garlic is not sattvic, it is either rajasic or tamasic. Okay, similarly, fermented foods, yogurt, tea and coffee, which we usually resort to when we are stressed, or people have a habit of waking up and having tea and coffee the first thing in the morning. That is also rajasic because it's giving you temporary high, it's giving you temporary pleasure, and you are eventually getting dependent on it. Similarly, spicy and salted foods, chips, all of that spicy burgers, which are there in the market these days. So, and junk and fast food. So these are rajasic. Okay, they stimulate your senses and make you dependent on them. And then there is tamasic food, which is heavy and it makes you dull. So non-vegetarian food is considered tamasic because it's not fresh, right? Mushrooms, onion, garlic, artificial sweeteners, stale foods, that's why we also say don't leave your food for too long in the refrigerator. It makes the fresh food stale. Okay, and it increases the tamas in the food. Food which is burnt. So people who love their toasts very, very crispy and very burnt, that is again tamas. And alcohol, drugs, basically packaged and processed foods have a low prana shakti. So that is why also it's considered as tamasic food. Now, if we talk about different food groups, fruits, vegetables, and grains. Okay, so here you will see how much time it takes to digest completely in the body. So if you talk about fruits, these are digested quickly. Okay, it takes around 3 hours for them to get digested. 1 hour in the stomach, 1 hour in the small intestine, and 1 in the large intestine. And then vegetables, they have a little more fiber, which is a complex fiber. So that also stays in the stomach and intestines for a longer time. And then when we talk about grains, so grains are also heavy and they are very high in carbohydrates. They convert into glucose very quickly, but they have a longer period in which they stay in the system, which is approximately 18 hours. Okay, so if you've had too much of grains, that's why earlier, when farmers used to go out to work for 10 hours in the day, they used to fill their plates with grains so that they get energy throughout the day. Okay. So now, any questions till now before I move on? Any doubts, any questions? We have a very interesting game coming up. So
One question, Tanya, that comes to mind is that I saw, of course, meat in the tamasic section, and yeah, I do agree that that may be invoking those gunas. So, but if that has been your life, like if you are a hunter, you need to eat that kind of stuff. So, how do you balance, and is there any recommendation on that? Yeah.
right. So I totally understand. See, there are many foods which have, which according to Ayurveda are tamasic, but also you do require them, like garlic. Okay, garlic has many properties which are helpful in managing your lipid levels. It has medicinal properties, but in Ayurveda, it's called tamasic. Why? It's again the portion that you consume. Okay, like fruits and vegetables, we say that you should consume every day. Every day, 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, right? But when we talk about non-vegetarian foods, even though it has a tamasic feature, but we say that, okay, you can have non-veg maybe 2 times a week or in a small portion, okay, or maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And it again has high protein for sure. Again, we also talk about what you have grown up to have. If you've been brought up in a household where you used to have non-veg 3 to 4 times a week, I'm not saying you stop eating it completely. Okay, every body is different, and you need to see what works for your body. Some non-vegetarians, they feel very light when they let go of non-veg, but then some also get deficiencies if they stop eating completely.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
There
So
is one more question, Tanya. Is it okay to consume yogurt every day? Uh,
yes. So again, as I spoke about portion, even though yogurt is a little mucus forming as per Ayurveda. That's why we say don't have yogurt in the night, because that time the kapha time starts. Kapha means the laziness of the body sets in. Okay, your digestion becomes slower. So curd is okay to consume if you do it in the pitta time of the day, which is the afternoon time, like with your lunch, but preferably not at night. But in a small portion, if you're having curd, it should be not more than 1 katori. Okay, or preferably like buttermilk is a great option.
Thanks, Tanya. We can
Okay,
move on.
welcome. All right. So, since we wanted this session to be also talking a lot about menopause, okay, and this is something that we all experience where everyone experiences it differently. Some get hot flashes, some feel extremely lethargic. You can tell me if any of you have experienced premenopausal symptoms, or if you've seen someone who's experienced menopausal symptoms. What are the symptoms that you usually saw? You can put, okay, chat box. Itching, okay.
I have heard my mother say कि पैरों के तले से गर्मी निकल रही है, आग निकल रही है.
आग निकल रही है.
And I think, beginning to feel that, especially when I'm wearing shoes and walking. It's like my feet are on fire. If that is premenopausal or whatever it's called.
Okay. Yes, you're absolutely right. And then there is abdominal weight, sleep disturbance, change in skin type, tinnitus. There is a ringing feeling in the ears, fatigue, itching, hot flashes, brain fog, sweating. Absolutely. Exhaustion, joint pain is one. Okay, mental clarity is again something which is many people, yes, mental fog, change in skin and hair type, and exhaustion. There is also bloating and digestion issues which some people face. So these are all natural things that happen. But sometimes if menopause is aggravated. You might feel many symptoms altogether. Yes, there is change in taste preference. Okay, Miss Neeta says, I've grown up with an Ayurveda as my mom was into it big time. And what I understand is that Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic are all needed in right proportions to provide balance. That's absolutely right. Okay, so it's all about balance. That's what I said when I started. Okay, maybe certain foods are tamasic, maybe spicy foods are tamasic. But if you are adding spice in a less quantity, if you are having non-veg food also in less quantity, okay, or sometimes you are going out for a meal, that is all about balance and you are living a basic sattvic lifestyle. Now, Virudh Ahar. Virudh Ahar is basically food which are the wrong combinations and can trigger conditions which are not favorable for the body. And the menopause can also be a very unpleasant experience if you tend to consume these combinations too much. Right. So first is milk and fruit. Okay, so we all love to have, I mean, I've heard people giving their kids banana shakes and citrus fruits, not so much because, but if you think about Western nutrition, they say, okay, give a lemon souffle, or they also mix oranges with yogurt, orange yogurt. So all that is a bad combination because it causes more fermentation and creates toxins in the body. So a good combination is milk with mango. Okay, mango is one fruit which has a good combination with milk. The second one is milk and salt. So again, milk and salt and fish and milk, these are bad combinations which disturb your skin health, right? They have different energies. Ghee and honey. So if you mix these in equal parts, it is toxic. Okay, it might be very funny for some of you, but according to Ayurveda, these are the principles, and it actually does show up when you see it in so many clients. Like, since I've had a lot of clients facing a lot of autoimmune conditions, I have noticed that in some of them, these combinations have actually triggered the condition. Similarly, yogurt with fruit and tomatoes and brinjal with milk and raw and cooked foods together in a meal. But not all raw and cooked foods, because we usually do salad and then your cooked vegetable. Okay, but then there are different vegetables and different raw salads that are not to be taken together. Like we also say, don't take cucumbers at night, right? So there's an expansive list. I would need a complete month for us to cover that topic, but these are the basics that you must know. Okay, during menopause, the best foods to consume are light foods like khichdi, soups, and stews. Use healthy fats like ghee, sesame oil, flaxseed oil, even mustard oil is great if it is a kachi ghani mustard oil and not refined. Okay, even coconut oil is a great option because it is an MCT oil. It has to be used in a little smaller quantity as compared to the other fats. And a lot of people think that olive oil is great, but olive oil is not the best option to cook your food. Like if you want to add it as a dressing, olive oil is good. But olive oil is not a good good oil in which food is fried or cooked at a higher temperature for longer time durations. Then cooling herbs during menopause are shatavari, saunf, and licorice, mulethi. Include more calcium-rich foods during this time, like til, ragi, almonds, even dairy is good because the bone health is also compromised during menopause. So if you include calcium-rich sources and also go for a walk outside, get your share of vitamin D, then you will not be facing bone issues as much. And then herbal teas. Instead of your regular tea, coffee, If you could try soothing teas like chamomile, mint, methi water, this is a much better option. Okay, so healing foods, again, talking about healing foods, digestion, hormonal health, energy balance, and mental health. We need to focus on all of these four things. The digestion should be good, your hormonal health needs to be good. Okay, you should feel energetic throughout, like mostly throughout the day, not too much of fluctuations in your energy levels. And the mental health is again based on what you eat. So there is a gut and brain connection. Okay, so our gut is connected to the brain with the help of a vagus nerve. And it's research has found that if your gut health is good, you will have a good mental health. But if you have bad gut bacteria, it will mess up your mental health. It will cause more anxiety, depression. So the gut, whatever you are feeding yourself, is how your energy levels, how your mental clarity will be. So as Captain Sunita said, that what is inside, like the outside your hair, you can put anything on your hair, but there will be no impact. But if you're properly having good food, you're taking care of your health, the hair health will become better. Yes. Any comments? Any questions?
We have two questions, Tanya. The first one was from Lochan. She's been having smoothie with banana and yogurt and protein powder. She wanted to know if this is not a good idea.
Okay, so smoothie with banana and yogurt. In Western nutrition, it's a great idea to have this if you talk about building muscle after your workouts. Okay, but in Ayurveda, they say that this is not a good option. So again, nutrition is a very conflicting subject, right? So you have to see if that really works for you. Do you feel energetic after consuming this? Do you face any gut issues like bloating, bloating or not proper digestion? You're not able to go completely defecate properly. So see that also. But according to Ayurveda, banana and yogurt or banana and milk is not a good option.
Sure. The next question, okay, she is acknowledged that she has gut issues in general. Also, Tanya, would could it be that gut issues don't, or any such issues of Viruddhahar don't show results immediately, but they could be over a period of time?
Yes, that does happen. They do manifest eventually in the body. So if you've seen anyone who has diabetes in your family or relatives, what happens is that it doesn't manifest immediately. It happens over a period of years. That's why it's called a chronic condition. So stress, poor nutrition, poor lifestyle eventually leads to diabetes, right? Similarly, if you continue to have these improper combinations, after 8, 10, 12 years, you might notice changes in your gut health, skin health, hair health.
Interesting. The next question was from Karen, and she said banana milkshake or Shrikhand is a bad combination.
Yes. So similar question, banana milkshake according to Ayurveda. Yeah, bad.
Sure.
Tanya, I just had one small comment.
Yes.
A lot of things that you mentioned, and I've mentioned this on the group that I go to, this Jindal Naturopathy or the PEMA, and Sheetal has also been there. And within 3 to 4 days of eating on these principles, you actually start feeling very different inside, very light, and there is a before and after with just 1 week. So I can imagine, like you're saying, if we are doing something right for years or wrong for years, it can really have an impact on us. And the last thing I wanted to say was that each one of us has a little different body. अब कुछ बचपन से ही खाया है, तो your body gets immune to it little bit.
Right.
Is what I have noticed. Like my mom and all are from Haryana, and I don't have too much dairy, and they laugh at me. And a
Yeah.
lot of people there, I think they've just been having, and your body also adjusts to it. So I think you're telling the ideal, and then if you're doing something for 20 years, it may have just gotten used to it, but maybe good to try a different way and see if it's working for you.
That's true. So when I went for my yoga course, before that, even though I'm a nutritionist, I used to eat everything healthy, but I was not introduced so much to Ayurveda. And I went for a 21-day course where I was only given sattvic foods with such combinations. And that bloating that had persisted since 1-2 years, that completely vanished. I lost 3 4 5 kgs, and I was feeling so light. I think I was my fittest self at that time. And it was actually all of these sattvic principles: waking up before sunrise, having food according to these timings, not having these combinations. It really impacted my health in a positive way. So I feel you need to give yourself at least 3 weeks to see whether such a lifestyle is impacting you in a positive or a negative way.
Tanya, I had a
Yes.
question. We didn't
Yes.
talk, I mean, of course, we talked, but not directly about fiber. And there is such a lot of, fad created around these cold compressed juices, which take out the fiber completely. And I noticed this in Jindal also. They
Yeah.
don't give us the entire fiber. So, what is Ayurveda's take on it? And what is your take on it as a nutritionist?
So see, fiber is important for the body,
Hmm.
but probably they want to completely detox your body, and fiber
Yeah.
leads to the digestion getting slower. That's why
Ah.
if your food is high in fiber, you will feel more energetic for the next 4 5 hours, because slowly and steadily the glucose is getting released, right? Because it's bound by fiber. But if they completely remove the fiber, uh, it's very easy for the digestion. Like, the food is getting assimilated faster,
Hmm.
and maybe they want to keep you on that liquid diet,
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
sattvic
Right.
diet, where you're feeling light. And there is, if you've heard about a process called shank prakshalan.
No,
uh,
not heard of it.
no. Okay. So that is also a complete detox for the body, where you get to drink salt water. The entire body's fluids, everything is released. Okay, it's a very interesting process, but it has to be done under guidance.
The
And at
set
that
of
time,
yoga, right? Set of yoga.
yes, a set of
Yeah.
yoga asanas.
Mhm.
And at that time, supposing you're drinking water, after 5 minutes, you have to go to the washroom, and you're actually pooping out that water also. So
Hmm.
your digestion is so fast. Otherwise, you usually have to wait for a couple of hours before you feel the need to go to the washroom.
Hmm.
Right? So when you go for these naturopathic or these retreats,
Hmm.
they know how to detox the body for a small period of time. But you can't follow the same principle forever.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tanya.
Okay. All right. So then some practical tips is that you should start your day with warm water or fruit, because it's easily digestible in the morning, along with some soaked nuts. So you should always start your day with a good source of protein, which is soaked nuts, and eat fresh, seasonal, home cooked meals. This goes without saying. Uh, Try not to reheat leftovers, not to refrigerate food for many days. Try not to have too much packaged snacks, because they have a lot of additives. Cook in a very calm environment. Okay, if you are stressed someday, I will suggest just either don't cook or maybe just have something very light where you don't need to cook, something like as basic as a fruit and some seeds, or a basic khichdi where you don't have to cook, because all of that energy, that negative energy, goes into food. And try to eat with gratitude. I'm sure even I've gone to a lot of retreats. Before eating food there, what we do is that we bless the food, or we just maybe pray, or we say a little mantra before eating. So that also induces good energy. That gratitude feeling also induces good energy in the food. And try to eat without distractions. These days, everyone is looking into their phones and eating, looking at the screen, working and eating, which again does not let proper nutrition go into the body, because this is mindless eating, and your hormones, your digestive juices, they are not properly functioning if you are so distracted. Okay, follow the sun, eat per your circadian rhythm, and take small steps. You don't need to follow everything at once, because then you will eventually just go back to your regular routine when you feel that you've overestimated your capacity to follow. And then if you're even not being able to achieve all of those 10 goals that you've set, then you either do 10 or do 0. Okay, so start with 1, then go to 2, then go to 3. That's the best way. Now we have a quick game for all of you. You just have to guess if the food is sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic, and then we'll bust those myths and answer the questions as well. Okay, first one. You can just put it on the chat box. Okay, coffee, rajasic. Any other thoughts? Everyone thinks it's rajasic, but I love it. Okay. Tamasic. Okay. All right. I'll give out the answers later. Yogurt. Yogurt, tamasic. Okay. Rajasic. 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 All right. Okay. Next. Bananas. Sattvic. Okay. Sattvic, I have them every day. That's wonderful. Okay. White bread or any bread. Tamasic, rajasic. Tamasic, tamasic, rajasic. Okay. This is a combination of tamasic and rajasic. And then onions. Rajasic, rajasic. Okay, tamasic and rajasic. Awesome. ठीक है, garlic. Rajasic, tamasic, tamasic, and tamasic. Okay. ठीक है. So now we'll answer all of those. Firstly, garlic is rajasic and tamasic. You were right. So what happens is garlic is usually pungent and stimulating. Okay, and even onion is produces more heat in the body, and it is stimulating. That doesn't make it a villain. Okay, so some form of stimulation is required by the body. So it has medicinal properties. As I told you, garlic is very good for people who suffer from cholesterol, high cholesterol issues. Onions also, they have their good properties in terms of medicinal properties. But in sattvic foods, like usually in Navratri, you will see people avoid onion and garlic because it increases the rajasic and the tamasic capacity of the body. Okay, but again, in a small quantity, it is recommended. Usually in our Indian diet, we do add pyaz, tomato ka masala to maximum of the foods. Right? And we use our ginger garlic paste also in everything, but in a very small portion. Then coming to yogurt, sometimes it is sattvic if you are making it fresh. So homemade curd is sattvic, but when it is it is packaged and sour and it's been kept for too long, it develops tamasic properties. Okay, and that's why we say that if have more homemade curd or homemade fresh buttermilk, jeera buttermilk, because it also boosts your digestive system. Then coming to bread is tamasic, It lacks any form of life energy. Just like fresh chapati and homemade bread, because it's just freshly prepared, right? It is more sattvic, but all of these processed breads are tamasic. Banana, you all were right, is sattvic. It really helps to balance out your vata and pitta, and it is a natural source of sugar and also easy to digest. It's great in potassium, so you can definitely have bananas. And coffee, even though everyone loves it, it is still rajasic, and also increases the activity. Like you feel more active when you have coffee, right? Your brain suddenly becomes active, you stop feeling sleepy. So it can disturb sleep, so it is recommended not to have coffee after 4 p.m. in the evening. It can increase the pitta because it is also more acidic. So people who have digestion issues, bloating issues, they should not be having too much of coffee, right? Even those people who meditate a lot, they should not have a coffee before they meditate because the brain becomes very active, the nervous system becomes very active. All right. So, one more question for you. What is one food habit that you want to change? Any one food habit.
While we answer that, Anjana wants to know what about tea? We talked about coffee. What about tea?
Yeah, tea also has caffeine. So that is also rajasic. It activates your nervous system. It stimulates the nervous system. But if you have light teas, herbal teas, chamomile, so that is sattvic. Okay, so you want to have less coffee and more water. Lovely. Dinner by 6. Want to stop having yogurt and cucumber in the evening. Okay, stop eating stale food. I hate to throw food. Oh, I can totally understand. You want to finish it off. Okay. And reduce your coffee. Yes. One habit, no food after 7. I think we all, yes.
I had one question. What does Ayurveda say about intermittent fasting?
Okay. So, yes, that was another question that I wanted to address. Intermittent fasting, again, varies from person to person. So, there are different types of intermittent fasting. One is the 12-hour window, where you are eating for 12
circadian one.
Yes. And then there is the 14-hour and the 16-hour. So 16 is very very difficult also to follow, but for some people it's easy. But again, it depends on body type to body type. Now, if your body is pitta, you will be feeling hungry after every few hours. Okay, and for those people, if they follow a very short period of intermittent, it can upset their digestion. Like they will feel more acidic because they've been hungry for a very long time. If a person,
So it's individual, but overall, does Ayurveda feel fasting is good because it's been part of our ancient thing? So what do you say about
the 12-hour one, Ayurveda does recommend. 12 to 14 also does recommend. And even one day fasting per week also is recommended. One day proper like falahar fasting is recommended just for the detoxification of the body, just to give a reset to the body because of constant digestion all the time.
Okay. So basically it's overall recommended, but each one should see their body on how they respond to it.
Right. So 12-hour is recommended for everyone. Then you can
सब
try
लोग
14.
12 hours, everyone.
Yes.
Anya Lochan has a question: how to figure out your guna?
Okay, so there is one nadi test which is done by Ayurvedic practitioners. They check your these 3 parts, the veins, nadis it's called, and then they can tell you which dosha is your, like which is your predominant dosha, which dosha were you born with, which gunas were you born with, and if there is any imbalance in your doshas, they also tell that. So you'll have to go to an Ayurvedic practitioner to figure out your dosha. But there is also a general test which shows how is your hair type, skin type, how cold do you feel, how is your digestion, skin, everything. So that also you can get a general idea of what is your guna type. Okay. So lovely responses, and I will open the floor for questions. I also take yoga classes, nutrition consultations. So if you want to ask me any questions, you can reach out to me on the group as well.
This is really good. So where are you based, Tanya? Sorry to ask such a question.
I'm from Dehradun right now. I'm in Gurdaspur. But yes, I'm basically from Dehradun.
Oh, lovely. So you have a group class 7:30 to 8:30.
Yes.
Great.
All right. Any questions related to nutrition, diet, yoga?
So, Tanya, one thing which has always been, I think, and I'm acknowledging again the tamasic thing in me, I've always said कि मुझे कुछ नहीं होता. For example, this drinking yogurt and chas, in fact, chas also, वो भी chilled from fridge, and I've never had cold. I love cucumbers, and I actually take a cucumber, peel it, and eat it whole. And people who probably understand or they are wise because of age have always felt ki no, this is not right, not right. But so does it mean now my body has anyways acclimatized, बचपन से ही ऐसी हूँ, तो now कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा कि I should still change because it is still wrong?
So just like when you drink water, people say don't stand up and have water, sit down.
Right.
Okay, but does anything happen if you're standing and having water? Do you feel anything?
No.
Not really, but then people say age-wise, it'll start harming your knees. It'll impact, all the arthritis and all of that it's you're giving that trigger to the body to ruin maybe the bones and the joints. So, I mean, it won't have an impact immediately, but eventually it might. So that's how.
That's true. So similarly, there are many foods which eventually can cause an impact. Many food combinations eventually which will cause an impact, but you will not be able to see it immediately.
You may not last eventually.
Yes. That's also one way to look at it.
But on that, Tanya, sorry to wear the She Manifest hat. Neeta is also here. I have seen, of course, there is a general principle, but I've also seen that sometimes when you start knowing something and believing, then it tends to maybe impact you. थोड़ा सा placebo nocebo रहता है. Like there is a broad guideline for sure.
Right.
And I mean, I used to earlier have coffee, and after Andrew Huberman told me कि 2 बजे के बाद मत पियो और 3 बजे, and now I stop at that time. And if I've ever had coffee after 4, I can't sleep well, and then I tell myself because I had this. And then my friends are having at 8 p.m. and sleeping.
Right.
But so I think your vibration, like you said, that calm food part, I think that also really matters. So बहुत मतलब follow general guidelines. Neeta, do you want to add to it if you're around? Like how she always says that your vibration is also equally strong as the food is. So I think some of that also makes a difference, Sheetal.
Yeah, I remember Neeta saying, and I can't quote her exactly, but I remember she saying, ki, if you feel like eating a cake, don't, if you think, okay, mera na vazan badega, I'm on a diet, blah, 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 then it is going to be something like, you're feeling like it, go for it. And I think Sunita had something else to say for it.
Yes. I just want to say this, that when you feel like having something, it's because your body is asking for it. So go for it.
Yeah.
Your body is always asking. Your body is always telling you stuff, and I think it's important to listen. So if you feel like having something, go ahead and have it, and do not feel guilty about it, because whether it's Rajasic, Tamasic, or Sattvic, I think it's all needed by us. We all need all of it. So
yeah.
we are also mix of the dark and the light. So our body needs all of that, I feel.
So again, it's all about balance. Our body needs all of that, but it depends on the portions. Like a person who's suffering from a binge eating disorder, they always feel that their body requires food at that moment. But then if they give into that feeling, thinking that, okay, my body requires it, so they suffer in the long term.
Yeah, I just want to share one observation. I know someone's raised their hand that, like Neeta said, if you feel like eating something, go for it. But what I've also realized that when I'm feeling happy, calm, and healthy, I don't feel any cravings, like zero cravings. So again, maybe when you're feeling good, maybe you crave because you want it. So I think each one to themselves in that sense. Yeah. Sorry, somebody had raised their hand.
Ritika, go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. Not to worry. So, a lot of elements come from the grain wheat. So wheat has, because again, the way it is grown now, of course, you've been eating wheat, but the way, so therefore wheat ka bhi ho gaya hai ki, reduce the consumption. Maida also comes from internal part of some wheat, the grain. But suji is not demonized. So suji ka aap chila banao, suji ka aap idli banao. So how has suji been able to maintain that sattvic element of itself from the same grain is my question. I don't while everything else has got demonized.
That's a very interesting question.
I'm sorry if I'm taking you off guard, but
okay, so see, people's primary grain has been wheat. But just like corn became GMO corn was also so healthy. People used to have makki ki roti a lot, especially in Punjab. And then eventually they came up with these GMO corn, which caused havoc in the system. Similarly, wheat also. Now they're coming up with varieties of wheat. But suji is something that everyone doesn't consume as much as they consume wheat and corn and rice. And probably that's why, but again, suji has a little more fiber than your maida, right? Like even in terms of pasta, they say that pasta is not that healthy than, like pasta is healthier than having maida because it is durum wheat. Okay, so it still retains some form of B vitamins. And similarly with suji also, this is the case. Like dalia and suji. They say that they contain a little more B vitamins as compared to your regular maida and breads. That's why they are safe.
Okay. All right. Point taken. So, suji, and in fact, for me, suji and dalia, they're like one of the staple diets in my household. So I'm over, I think, I know, I just hope I'm not over consuming, but
it's also light to digest. So suji ka kheer or suji ka halwa is given to babies also because of its lightness.
That's right. So therefore, I was wondering that from the same grain, how is one little element not demonized? Thank you.
If I may just add to that, I think also the reason why wheat and maida and all these are more on the unhealthier side is also now in the processed stuff, they're adding extra gluten because, the gluten is what gives that whole stretchiness. So they're adding extra gluten over whatever gluten it naturally has. And that's what is actually the demon in the wheat and the maida, which we don't expect out of suji. We don't expect that stretchy, touch feel to suji. So they don't need to add that extra gluten. That's also a big part of why wheat nowadays is not, anywhere close to how it used to be.
Right.
Right. Vishaka has a question, and we'll keep that as the last question because we've already taken Tanya's time. We are overshot by 10 minutes already. Go ahead, Vishaka.
Yeah, I was wondering whether to raise or no, but thank you,
No,
Sheetal, for
Go ahead.
granting that. So, Tanya, thank you for the amazing session. My question is, so you mentioned during the session that, about the timings and the deep sleep, like 10 to 2, and if you're not sleeping. So I am fall into that category who does not sleep at that time. And I have, and many a times I've read different texts and all, and then there's also a theory that, every person has a different body clock and a different rhythm. So some people perform better or work better at night, and some people are morning people and night people. So what are your thoughts around it? Because I mean, I work better at night.
Okay.
I'm not able to let go. I've tried, but I'm not able to, do that.
Right. So if you remember when we were kids, we all used to sleep by 10:30 max,
Yeah.
right? And we used to have a very good night's sleep without getting disturbed, usually. Uh, Another thing, when there used to be exams, then not so much. But when we were in our primary, secondary school, we used to sleep by 10. That was our body clock. Then
Yeah.
when we started going to work, or we started pushing our timeline to 2, 10, 11, 2, then we felt that, okay, I can't sleep at before 1 o'clock at night, right? So I said, okay, now this has become my body clock. So the basic body clock is the same according to sunrise and sunset. It's just that we as individuals, we follow these habits which make us accustomed to follow this kind of a lifestyle. But if you try to reset for a month, go back to how you used to sleep early, you
Hmm.
will notice that you're able to even fall asleep earlier. But it's just that we keep pushing our timelines, just like uh, if on certain days you have too much of work,
Yeah.
you have to finish all that work in the day, right? Versus when you have very little work, you will try to stretch the timeline and do it over the entire day.
True,
So,
true.
so it's all about how you condition your body. It doesn't mean
Hmm.
body requires that.
Hmm. Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanya. You have
Thank you.
simplified the complex topic so well, and I liked the engagement and the facilitation. I mean, of course, you're an expert in nutrition and yoga, but trying to facilitate it and simplify it for us is just amazing. And if any one of you would like to, give your feedback and your experience on the session, please go ahead. We have 2 minutes before we sign off.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tanya. And I can just say that, these are small habits. That's what on She's Fit we discuss, that it's the little things that matter. And I can 100% tell you that if you pick one or two things today and try them out, you will definitely see a huge difference. And all my naturopathy trips and all, I have felt significantly different by just changing things like little early dinner, lighter dinner. And I have to say, if someone invites me for dinner and they're serving dinner at 10 p.m., I'm not going to eat it for anything. So, I mean, whatever, like I'm just saying, I just feel uncomfortable if I eat that late. Now, I know it impacts your social life. Do 80% of time, 20% koi baat nahi, maze karo.
Hmm.
But we should do that. And Vishakha, we have picked up sleep a couple of times on She's Fit.
Yeah.
And we will do a guftagoo at the end of this month where we'll pick up some pointers. Come over if you're free.
Yeah. Sure, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, and look forward to seeing you in Guftagu. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Really.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Nice.
All right.
She has such a lovely energy about her.